Good morning and welcome to the Seattle Ferry Terminal. Today, I will be traveling on the Washington State Ferries from Seattle to Bremerton. Stay tuned for updates throughout the video. Our journey begins at the Seattle Ferry Terminal, located along Alaskan Way. The terminal was recently renovated and feels extremely modern for a public transit facility in the United States. The terminal itself is accessible by walking, biking, driving, and King County Transit, providing commuters with a wide variety of different transit modes. After buying my $10.95 ticket, I head over to the waiting area and wait for the ferry to depart. After loading cars on board the ferry, passengers are called to board and we proceed through the gates to the ferry. Today's ferry over to Bremerton will take about 1 hour, which is comparable to driving from Seattle to Bremerton. We will be on board the Squamish, one of the few Olympic-class vessels that are part of the Washington State Ferries fleet. These vessels have a displacement of 4,385 tons and carry up to 1,500 passengers. After boarding the ferry, it departs for Bremerton. Leaving the Seattle Ferry Terminal, we get wonderful views of the Seattle skyline and Puget Sound. We even get a great view of Mount Rainier, which is over 65 miles away and towers over the surrounding landscape. As we get settled into the ferry ride, it's time to look at the amenities on board. Looking at the seating layout, we can see a good mix of individual seats and booths. In the middle of the ferry, there's a cafe where you can buy food and drinks. The prices seemed reasonable for the food and drink, but I did not buy anything. Bathrooms are located on either side of the ferry, and the ferry even contains 2 elevators to make it more accessible for wheelchair users. But perhaps the best part of the ferry is the upper deck, aptly named the Sun Deck. The Sun Deck is an open-air deck that allows you to experience all the sights, smells, and sounds of the ferry journey across Puget Sound, unimpeded by a physical barrier. It's definitely fun to hang out for a few minutes, but it gets quite chilly and windy. It probably would be better for an afternoon journey. Now that we've explored the entire ferry, let's enjoy the beautiful scenery of Puget Sound. As we approach Bremerton, it's now time to rate this ferry ride. I'll rate this ferry in 4 categories: comfort, amenities, punctuality, and uniqueness. Each category will be rated out of 5, with 1 having a horrible rating and 5 having an excellent rating. Let's get started. For comfort, this ferry gets a 3. Seat pitch was fine for a commuter ferry, but I would not want to spend multiple hours here. The variety of seating was nice and the second open air deck was a plus. For amenities, this ferry gets a 3. The ferry is old but still provides adequate ADA access. Additionally, there's a cafe located in the center of the ship, providing food and drinks for hungry passengers on board. These are all great amenities that elevate the overall ferry riding experience. For punctuality, this ferry gets a 4. The ferry left a bit late due to delays during transit. It arrived in Bremerton a few minutes late as well. And finally, the uniqueness. This ferry gets a 4. There are not a lot of state-run ferries in North America, and this factor alone makes the service unique. Besides that, since I'm not an expert in ships, I can't really comment whether this ferry model is unique to Washington State or has been built for multiple different operators throughout North America. Still, the service existing makes it so unique and thus the high rating. now arrived at Bremerton. Thank you to everyone for watching. Please consider supporting the channel by subscribing, and I hope you come back for future videos. Goodbye!